We are going to take your wireframes or your low fidelity mockups and start converting it into HTML content. So here I have laid out the front of my business card and the back of my business card. So my back is pretty much just an entire image, so that's going to be easy to lay out. I can actually just design that in, say, Illustrator as a vector graphic and place in that whole background. My front is going to be a little bit trickier because I'm going to have that same whole background image, but also in addition, I'm going to have some text that goes over it. So I'm going to make an edit. I'm going to actually get rid of community. I think I'm going to do artist and designer, or maybe artist and educator. And then I'm going to keep this area the same. I might change this rather than this Instagram, I might just turn it into an Instagram logo. So those are some of the changes I'm considering. So chances are the tags that you're going to use most for this business card assignment are going to be header tags. So header tags are H1 through H6, and it's how you lay out text information. So I'm going to use my H1 tag for my name, which is in a bold. I'm going to use my H2s for this artist subheader. And then I'm going to use H3 for all of this additional information. And the reason I can use H3 for all of this additional information is that it's all styled the same, meaning that it's the same point size, same font, so I can just apply one styling to all those H3s and that will work. So the first thing that you do when you're starting a new document is you download a boilerplate file. So boilerplate, I guess it comes from accounting. It's basically a blank document. And I don't mean blank as in there's nothing in it. I just mean blank as in it renders an empty sheet of paper. So the first thing I want to do is download this zipped folder. So now this boilerplate folder has been downloaded for me. I can open it up, which will unzip the folder. So before, see how this folder in my downloads was zipped? I can't really do anything with that folder, but now that I have unzipped it, I can see the contents inside of it. So the first thing that you want to do is rename this to business card, because this is going to be the starting code for your business card file. I also want you somewhere on your computer, maybe let's head over to my documents and do it there. I want all of you to make a new folder called web-type. And then put this business card folder into it. So this is a parent directory, this web type folder, and now there is one subdirectory inside of that, this business card folder. Inside of that business card repository or folder is this index.html, main.css, and main.js when we start doing some stuff with JavaScript, and also a README document where it tends to have information about the project. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is launch our software program. So in this course, we are using VS Code.
The easiest way to open up a repository in VS Code is to click on the folder that you want to open. So say I have this business card folder is the one that I want to open. So VS Code doesn't know what to do with individual files. It only knows what to do with repositories, meaning like a collection of files that are all talking to each other. So the way that you open files is you take this folder and you drag and you drop it onto VS Code. So now that whole folder is open. So here is our business card. The first thing that you're going to want to do when you launch VS Code is you are going to need to install an extension. So you can come over here to this extensions marketplace and type in live server. So live server is what's going to allow us to see the website rendered for us. So you can install it. It will take a minute. And once it is installed, we will be able to use it for our projects. Okay, so just a walkthrough of what this file looks like. So as far as the parts of the page, first we have our setup of our doc type, letting the browser know that this is an HTML document. And then on line 2, we start off with our HTML tag. We have our head. So again, the head, none of this stuff is actually rendered on the screen with the exception of this title one. That's what's going to appear in the tab. So go ahead and change this to your name and then business card. So now that is what's going to appear at the top of the page. We also in here have some things that you don't need to change at all. This one is linking to our CSS, so when we go to add our styling, this one is linking our JavaScript document in case we had any functions that were coming from there. But today what we're going to focus on is this body. So I'm going to put in both of my cards and the content on those cards today. So the tag that I'm going to use for each of my cards is a section tag. So what you see is I call these opening and closing carets, and then VS Code, as I typed section, it automatically closed that section for me. So again, you can see it's important in indentation for the body to have then one step of indentation for this section so that I very quickly can visually go down the page and see that I have a different tag that has information nested inside of it. So if you remember the content that I had to lay out today, first I had an H1, and inside of that H1 tag was my name, so Lara Henderson. Next up I had an H2, and in there I am going to put artist and designer. And each time you see that I'm doing this, VS Code is very smart. It just closes all of those tags for me. I'm going to put my website of my URL. Sorry, the URL of my website. I said that backwards. And then I'm going to put my email. So again, these are all the same typographic style, so I can use H3s for all of them. Okay, so that is the front of my business card. Next, I'm going to put in an empty section tag to signify the back of my business card. So now when I come down here to Live Server, this Go Live button, this is going to launch for me how it would actually appear in a website. So I can tell that I have a long way to go before I'm ready to have this actually look like my business card low fidelity mock-up. But this is where I want you to all be for the start of next week's CSS lesson, is to just have all the typographic content that is going to go into your business card and have it wrapped in tags.